नमस्ते, KIFF कॉन्वर्सेशन 2023 में आपका स्वागत है। मेरा नाम रुद्रांश बुंदेला है और आज हमारे साथ KIFF की बहुत पुरानी, बहुत फेवरेट मारियन जी है। मारियन मैम, हाउ आर यू?
I'm very well. Namaste.
Namaste.
It's always such a pleasure to be back in Khajuraho.
What year is it now? You always come, no?
Oh, it's about the fourth or fifth time I came.
Continuously, right?
Not continuously. There was COVID, as you remember.
Right. My first question to you is, you travel the world, you're obviously French, you've been working in the industry for more than four decades. What are the differences between KIFF and other film festivals that you've been to?
Well, I think I told you last year, this festival is very special because of Rudransh Bundela and Sushmita Mukherjee. Because they are both very artistic, but they are also mystical. And they mixed what should be a festival art with the messages of the gods. And here, of course, it is the place, so it's very special.
Do you think you have a connection with the mysticism of India? Because just before this, we were doing the puja, yeah, and you had a tika, and you're one of the few guests who comes with me every year to do it. So do you feel like a connection to our religion, our culture?
I suppose that in a past life, I must have been Indian. Because the first time I came to India, it was not a surprise. It was like if I've lived another life before. So also I studied a little bit about your religions and your gods. And even if I'm a Catholic, I'm very, very grateful to all the gods of India. You see, I've got my protection. And of course, going to puja before a festival, it's something that we should all do because we need the protection of the cosmic force, whatever religion it is. So that's also another thing I admire this festival for.
Because a lot of foreigners, when they come, they are only curious for the first few days. But then after that, they get a bit overwhelmed by the people, by the noise. But you don't seem to lose that curiosity. I've seen you talk to random people. You were just talking to a little kid who you met last year. How do you maintain that? Because me being an Indian, I also feel a little overwhelmed sometimes. But you have that childlike curiosity in you.
Well, I suppose I've inherited that from my father, who was at 82 years old, was like a small boy or 7 years old. He was always curious and he loved humanity. So from anyone, from any age, you have always something to learn. So you have just to watch around and you get presents.
So now that you've worked in the French film industry, you've done so much stage, you've worked with India also in our film industry. What do you like more and what are the difference between the two?
Well, I keep saying that here you respect the old people. And you
Here
say,
in India?
Yes, you say old is gold. But of course, it's always the same story as well. When you get wrinkles, you work less or you have less interesting parts. But here, because I'm becoming quite unique, you know, a French old lady, I was very lucky last year to work with someone called Raghunath Manet. He's not a film director. Originally, he's a Veena player and a fantastic dancer. He's a Guruji. And he's written a lovely script that we shot in Pondicherry. And really, I'm very, very happy about the film. So normally it should be released in May. He's hoping to send it to Cannes, but that's another story. Everybody's hoping to send their films to Cannes. But I think it's going to be a film important for the French people about India because it is set in Pondicherry, and as you know, Pondicherry was French at some point. And India did get freedom in 47, but not Pondicherry. It was a bit later. So this year only is going to be the 75 years of freedom of Pondicherry. So it's why the film will be released officially on that day and all that. So I'm looking forward to that film. And still the one I did with Sandeep Mohan, Danny Goes Home. went to several film festivals, and we went to Washington, and he won the prize, and in Berlin as well he won the prize. And last summer we were invited to CineQuest Film Festival, which is in San Jose. And believe me, I was very fearful to go with an independent Indian film, which was made with no money, only talents, to America, to CineQuest Film Festival. So I thought, oh my God. And first he won the prize of the jury, fantastic. And second, I had lots of wonderful feedbacks from the audience, because suddenly this middle-aged American woman could recognize themselves in me. Because now most American actresses of my age, they are fantastic, but they look that Sphinx, and they are not real anymore. And of course the part I was playing was a part of a woman of a certain age who is going to fall in love with someone young. But of course it's not going to happen, because she realized at the end that she can't do that, because it's like her son or grandson, and she's going to leave. But every woman at any age is dreaming to be in love again. So they came to me after, they said, oh, you are so wonderful. So, you know, I was so happy, not just for me, but for Sandy, who is a very, very courageous filmmaker. And here I know there are plenty of young filmmakers. It's very, very, very difficult to make a film. He did it with his own money. He's still not getting a release in India. Of course, some platforms are proposing him to buy the film, but peanuts. And so for the moment he's resisting. And he just found an agent in America who hopefully is going to release the film. So
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for it, yes, yes.
So you know, the life of an artist is full of turns, ups and downs. You don't know. It's a bit of a, you have to surrender. It's a vulnerable life.
Yes.
I mean, you know it better than anybody else here.
Yes.
So, was there any point in your career where you thought, like, it's just not happening, you want to change, you want to do something else?
Well, all the time, but when it's such a passion, you can't give it up. So, in the period where you don't work, what you have to do, it was a big Indian American actor who said, it was a journalist asked him, what are you doing at the moment? He said, well, I'm trying to become a better person. And he said, but why? He said, well, because if I'm a better person, I'll be a better actor.
You believe that?
Yes. So I think that all the very, very big actors, in the end, you know, first you do it because you want to be somebody else. You want to be famous. You want to, you know, to be recognized and all that. But the more you work, the more you understand that you give a special part of you to make the audience happy.
Yeah.
So to make the people happy, you have to reach all the audience.
Yeah.
And they can be, you know, street people, like top people and all that. So if you don't live sometimes a little bit of their life, if you don't study them, how could you portray them one day? So of course, the more you grow in age, and I think the better people we are becoming, I hope.
So you, if you think that as an actor, because technicians do get jobs more frequently than actors do, and acting is one of the few fields where you don't make it till you make it, and if you've not had any workout, people don't kind of bother with you, because there are so many people who want to be an actor. So for those people, is there something you'd like to say that has helped you in your life?
Yes, because obviously, if you're an actor, you can do plenty of things. You can become a presenter, but also you can use your voice. And when I was not working, I must say, I earned a fortune with my voice.
Okay.
I was living in London at that time, and I was jumping, so was my kingdom. I was jumping from one studio to another. It was a time where they were starting the video games, and they didn't have so much money. So sometimes they were hiring me, and the same day I was doing 4 or 5 different voices. I was the little girl, and I was the mother, and after I was a grandmother. So, you know, And also I was quite good at making animals sounds, like so they cast me a lot for animation films, and so I've done a lot of because, as you know, the sound recordings are the best in London. They have the best sound studios. So they do the things for all the world. And also at some point no one could learn how to speak French without going through my voice, because I was the voice for the BBC, for Linguaphone, for Let's, for Oxford University. You know, at the time where you had cassette and DVDs, I've done it all. So that was also very funny. That was wonderful.
You also modeled, right? I heard that you walked the ramp for Dior.
Well, yes, but that was very funny. I was 60 years old.
60?
Yes. And I was in London, in my flat, in Holland Park. It was a Friday night, I will always remember, it was raining. And I received a phone call from Paris. May I speak to Miss Borgo? I said, yes. I'm the assistant of John Galliano. I said, what? And I put the phone down. Because I don't know John Galliano, I'm not a model, and why someone... So, you know, I thought it was a joke. Then she rang back 5 minutes later and said, no, sorry, I had your number by your agent, and Galliano would like to meet you. Galliano? What? Well, you know, he saw you every day. First he was seeing me every day on television in a commercial, which was very funny. And also I was in a series called Sous le Soleil, quite well known. And one day apparently he pointed the television and he said, I want this woman. She'll be my number one. So I happened to open the fashion show in Paris of Galliano for Dior and to be number one. And that was really absolutely fantastic. So every 10 years I've got a surprise. Like when I was 50, I was chosen by Olay to be the face of Olay in America. Lots of money, which was wonderful. And it's the only time I've been treated as a star, because they flew me on Concorde. And I will always remember there was a car waiting for me with a driver in uniform with a hat and the boots and all that. And we stayed at Millennium Broadway and had the car waiting for me 24 hours a day at the bottom of the seat.
Wow.
So, of course, that has not lasted a long time, 2 weeks, but I remember it. It was wonderful. So, merci Olay. Maybe the reason I don't look 100 years old.
You don't. You don't look one day over 60? No, actually you said 60 for the shoot, so maybe 65. But, so I'll ask you my last question, and this is, I'm putting you on the spot here. So you can take your time.
Yes.
We're all quite young here.
Yes.
So if there was one cheat code which you have learned, cheat code, learning, trick, and that could apply to any field, not just specific to acting. If there's something about life that you feel that we youngsters have not got right, and something from your generation that you want to pass down, something along those lines.
Well, it's very difficult because your generation has become so technical. At my time, I could have given a kind of advice, but I don't understand your generation anymore.
Even we don't.
Because, you know, unfortunately, I'm just coming back from Hyderabad, where I've been invited to the high-tech exhibition, and where I was a speaker. And it's not my field, you know, this intelligence artificial and what's going to happen to the world. And it's going so fast, it's so frightful, that only you, the young people, have the answers to your future. Only you can decide, okay, finish with the mobile phone, finish with this, finish with that. But we can't. We are in a very, very strong movement, and especially in India, where you have the best mind, you know, the best intelligence are coming from
absolutely.
From Hyderabad, from Bangalore, all that. I mean, when I went to San Jose, I mean in Silicon Valley,
Lot
it's
of
only
Indians.
they are all Indians. So you are the one who are inventing the new technology. So you are going to be the one who is going to decide for the future of the planet. And it's the reason I was so happy to come with you for the puja of KIFF, because when I see that, I've got a hope for the future of the planet. That's very important. And so voila, so that's my maybe little advice. Don't give up about your beautiful Indian culture. Keep your tradition, fight for them, because it is unique and it was what makes you special.
I think a lot of people my age have realized that being too woke or disregarding your own culture and heritage is not, there's no point, because it's an age-old tradition and custom that has been proven again and again. So we all take our time, but we come back to it.
And also you have something very special in India. You are normally enjoying the moment. And when you speak to someone, it's not because you are through an interview, you speak into the eyes. So don't forget the contact, because of course everywhere, people are in the restaurant with their phone, they are on YouTube, they work with their phone. Switch it off and be with the person.
Being in the moment.
Be in the moment. Yeah. So before we part, I just wanted to tell you a little thing that maybe you don't know. This year I was supposed to come with Patrick George, who is a gentleman who has created several film festivals like your father. And he was supposed to come this year to link and twin Khajuraho Film Festival with one of his festivals in France. It will be either Cap d'Agde, Au Soleil, Marignane or Auba. So it's something that Mr. Rudransh Bundela and Patrick George will decide, but I really hope that we will do this twinning between France and India. And I hope it will be maybe either Cap d'Agde or Cap d'Agde could be wonderful with Khajuraho. And also he has a program called Les Cours d'École, and we were supposed to shoot one with the children and some of the young directors would have helped, but unfortunately he could not make it.
Next time.
Because it was supposed to be, you change the dates because of election of the festival, and now it was too close to Christmas and he had things to do. So voila, but I'm his ambassador and he's sorry he could not make it, and he's wishing a wonderful, wonderful festival, and I'm also very proud to be the first to have the interview of conversation, KIFF conversation.
It's our pleasure. So I just wanted to ask you that, India is growing, as we spoke about. There are a lot of advancements that are happening, and the 4-5 years that you came before this and now when you've come here, did you see or experience some change in connectivity, more fluidity?
Do you mean in Khajuraho or all over India?
Especially Khajuraho, but also, in Madhya Pradesh, in coming here, in the connectivity.
Alors, first of all, as I told you just before, I was in Hyderabad. I hadn't been back in Hyderabad since Indiewood Film Festival, which was a few years ago. It was before COVID. And in 4 years already, the transformation was absolute madness. Already it was a big city, but now it's like Manhattan, it's like Dubai, so many big buildings, so many shops, so many people, and the traffic is absolutely madness. And of course this technique thing the Mediatek was just unbelievable. Could you imagine that India has invented a phone, it will be released in about a year time, where you will get all the platforms on your phone, all the movies, without being linked to internet. And that is again an Indian invention. So if they can invent that, also all these bridges, all these things everywhere, it's just madness. So I was quite happy to land in Khajuraho, where first of all the airport is maybe the best in India, because it's the most beautiful
It's very nice.
and stylish. And then you have a feeling you are arriving to, when I say the past, no, because now there are plenty of modern things, but it's beauty, it's peace. You see, here we are, we can still hear the birds. It's wonderful because we are mixing the old with the nature, and it's still a preservation place, and every tourist who arrived there are very happy. And in fact, in the plane there were 3 old ladies of my age, over 70, and it was their first time in Khajuraho. And yesterday I went to buy a shawl because it's quite cold at night, and I met them, and they were said really the most magic place in India.
How
it is.
How nice. So I'll just ask you another question. So with KIFF, we have an effort to boost the regional cinema around us, and there's Bollywood, we all know Bollywood, but South cinema has also come up, and it's all part of India. So we through KIFF want to do our bit to promote the regional cinema that's taking place around us, and that's one of the main aims of KIFF. So do you think that you're seeing a change for good since the past 4 years you came? You can see local people coming in, becoming more developed through this platform.
Absolutely. You see, already today in the masterclass, you can feel that all the students are really very, very, very advanced.
And very curious to learn,
yes,
because
exactly. All their questions were spot on, and they are aware of everything. So, no, it's a very modern place where they are now ready to deliver the local stories, because there are so many stories here.
absolutely.
And only them can write them, develop them, film them. So I'm very, very full of admiration for once again Rudransh Bundela is doing, because he's really building a new generation who is going to make very interesting films.
That's the hope, that's the plan. Yeah, I think that's about it. It was an honor speaking to you, and hopefully next year I speak to you again and you enlighten us some more.
If Shiva wants it, yes, definitely.
I hope he wants it. Cool guys, thank you.
Thank you, and bravo to all of you.